It's recorded now.
All right, perfect. Thank you everybody for joining and welcome to the Automated Outbound Workshop Q&A call. It is the 6th of January 2026 and we're really excited to have you. So we'll run through the questions that we've had from our community so far. And they are number one, targeting leads. Number two, basic messaging tips. Common mistakes we see, creating an email signature that actually lands in the inbox, when to personalize and when not to personalize. And that is it for now. So Harry, do you want to take it away with number one?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing to do with targeting leads before we go into sourcing, enriching, verifying, all of that stuff, you need to sort of nail down exactly who it is you're trying to target with your outreach. So essentially, we call it your ICP, your ideal client profile. So where are they located? What industry do they work in? What do they do? And once you have that nailed, that's extremely important for the later steps once we start doing outreach to them, because we can then sort of target your messaging towards them and that kind of thing. In regards to actually finding the leads, once you've nailed that down, we're currently working on some content which will be premium inside the classroom, where we'll basically talk through all the different tools we use, because the tools can vary depending again on the ICP you have, where it's best to find those people. Yeah, essentially the key here is just to narrow down exactly who you want to target, and then we can then sort of work towards the messaging and that kind of stuff. Now, if you've got anything to add to that, Harrison.
No, all sounds good. You've hit the nail on the head. We'll go on to number two, basic messaging tips. I think this was specifically relating to email.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the messaging, again, a common mistake a lot of people make when they do cold outreach is talking about themselves. So we see it all the time. I specialize in this. This is what we do. We're female founded, that kind of stuff. What we like to tend to focus on is the recipient. So people are inherently selfish, sort of sad to say, but once they read your email or your outreach, they want to know, what do I actually get from working with you? So you always need to have that in mind when you're writing your copy. So, for example, when you're messaging someone, in our case, for example, we would say, if you work with us, you'll get an outbound system that will pay for itself within 90 days. So, again, you can see there a clear outcome off the back of that. So, again, make sure you're focusing on them. Make sure, again, leading back to the first point and you're targeting, the messaging is also relevant to the industry. So, you have to make sure that you're using the correct terminology that they would use. So, again, it feels relevant to them, and make sure, again, that all the content is relevant to the sort of outcome that they would want to see.
Sounds good. Cool, cool. So put the person first and why they should kind of care about the email rather than yourself.
Yeah, 100%. So again, yeah, really, they once you send the email, it's you want the person who receiving it to think that, oh, this is for me, rather than, oh, this is just another email with someone trying to sell me something.
Cool. All right, we'll move on to number three, the common mistakes that we see with cold email and outbound.
Yeah, where to start. So, like I said, first one, talking about yourself. Number two, which was the idea behind the whole community in the first place, was the infrastructure. So, Harrison and I come from a background of selling CRM. So, we know firsthand, people buy a CRM, they get a list, they blast out 500, 1,000 emails at one time through one domain. After the sort of crackdown from Microsoft, Google, all the other providers, that's no longer really a viable option. You have to have the correct infrastructure in place. So what I'd say from that is having multiple domains, multiple mailboxes, the correct sending software, verifying your leads list. It's quite a exhaustive list, which again, all the stuff is in the classroom around this. But yeah, that would be the key thing. I think, I don't know if you think anything different about that, Harrison.
I'd agree with everything you've said there. All sounds good. Cool. All right. Number four. So creating an email signature that actually lands in the inbox. We've actually just released a YouTube video today on this, but the key things, kind of summarized as quick as I can, is just to keep it simple. Follow the KISS rule, KISS, keep it simple, stupid, and just don't overthink it. A lot of people try to be quite fancy with their email signatures to try to make a good first impression and all of that type of thing. But at the end of the day, the email signature can be the difference between landing in the inbox or the spam folder. So, a few things to look out for are sending multiple links in there. So, things like your website, calendar link, links to your socials. What I've been seeing recently is people sending their client portfolio for some reason, or a link to that, and it's just pretty dangerous and increases the likelihood of you landing in spam. The reason for this is because since the latest crackdown that Harry's mentioned, Gmail and Outlook and Yahoo and all of the email providers are essentially scraping every single email and opening them automatically to scan them for malware to protect recipients, because there's been so much spam and that type of thing. Also, URL shorteners like bit.ly or tinyurl, that type of thing. Like people will condense their website URL or whatever they're trying to send people. These types of things are frequently used by spammers and completely abused. And there's loads of spam filters that will automatically flag emails that have contained shortened links. And this has been tried and tested multiple times. And it's just never a good idea to do so. Another super simple thing is having like massive logos and banners and huge profile photos and that type of thing in the signature. Again, it's just going to increase the likelihood of landing in spam. It's completely fine to do this one-to-one emails from your main domain. Like my main one has got, you'll see in the YouTube video, has got my face, website link as an actual URL and that type of thing. But then the outbound signature is completely plain text, no links, no images, no icons or anything like that. Another thing is animated GIFs. It might sound silly, but I have seen a few people putting GIFs in their email signature. Again, just increases the email size and the complexity, takes forever to load, and increases the likelihood of landing in spam. Any more links or references to unrelated domains of what the email is actually about. So if you're trying to email people to, for example, join your Skool community, if you provide the link to your Skool community, not something else, not your website, not a case study doc or anything like that. That would be considered an unrelated domain. And any domain mismatches are common in like phishing emails and spam emails, and that's just going to trigger extra security parameters and again probably land you in the spam folder. Final thing is signatures trying to impress or convert immediately, like just talking all about yourself, similar to what Harry mentioned before. Like, here's our Trustpilot reviews and a link to that, which is another link. Here's client case studies. Here's an award that we won at a previous award ceremony, that type of thing. Just you're, at the end of the day, increasing the likelihood of landing in spam rather than landing in inbox, which is the most important thing. So a bit of a long-winded answer. I'll go in a bit more detail on the YouTube video, but those are the main things to look out for.
One
Point.
thing
Sorry.
Sorry, just to jump in, the one thing I'd add to that as well is that no one's gonna buy off you just based off how your email signature looks. From our previous role, we must have seen hundreds of different, like, pretty looking email signatures that were just getting people's emails landing in spam. So again, it's important to have one, but just as simple as possible.
Cool. Number 5, when to personalize and not to personalize. Harry, do you want to take that one?
Yes, so I mean, in the industry, there's kind of a big emphasis on personalization, especially with the introduction of AI and all these different tools where you can essentially research the person automatically and send it out at scale. We've tested this extensively. We've used a variety of different tools, free ones and paid ones, all resulted in kind of the same thing with a lot of negative responses. People identifying off the bat that yeah, they're using AI. It's just mass outreach. It doesn't feel personal or relevant to them. The key thing that I would say with personalization with the email is I would focus on relevance over you saw a post about them, you saw them on a podcast or anything like that. So once they read that opening sentence, they want to know, is this person talking to me or is this just a general message? And again, how would this be relevant to me? How would this help me? How would it save me time? Would it make me money? These kind of things. So that would be the emphasis that I would focus on in regards to personalization. Things to not personalize on really. Don't mention things about people's personal life that you've seen online. Yeah, people don't want to know that you've seen them walking their dog on a LinkedIn post. Again, it's just how will this help that person?
Yeah, exactly right. And just on the personal life thing, story there, when I just posted on LinkedIn about a nice client dinner that we had, I received about a dozen emails that following week just saying, "Hey, saw you had a nice dinner at," and then they name the actual restaurant that I posted to LinkedIn. It just like, it's obviously a scraper AI tool that they've used to pull that from my LinkedIn profile, but it just feels creepy and it doesn't really flow into the body of the email quite well. So they're talking about a dinner that Harry and I went to with one of our clients, and then they talk about, website building software that they're trying to sell us. It's just completely unrelated and not really impressive because they haven't done their actual research. It's just not necessary and a bit silly. So yeah, that concludes this week's workshop. Thanks everyone for jumping on. We'll upload a recording of this into the community. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.